Welcome to the real Ramblers movie talk for fanatics. The real Ramblers movie talk for fanatics. And now your hosts, Bill and Lee Howard.
Hello. So, that's right. I went down and then I went back up. Welcome to the Real Ramblers, and welcome to the Snyderverse.
All dark colors, all angry. Not all. We're not. It'll be a fair assessment.
In case you couldn't tell, this week we're going to tackle maybe one of the most controversial things in all of geekdom.
Yeah.
Which is the Snyderverse.
Yeah. And this is the goofiest thing that
we're not really going to be talking about, like, are we just going to talk about, like, the situation? Are we going to talk about the whiny babies? What are we going to talk about?
Well, okay, here's the thing. I mean, it's like, it's some of that stuff might almost have to get touched on a bit, especially because the Snyder Cut of Justice League, right?
Yeah.
Came about for a reason. Like, I wrote my quick thoughts on, like, the movies from Man of Steel, because that's where it started, to, like, the last Aquaman. Yeah. Which I didn't see, and I'm not going to. But the funny thing is, like,
he didn't direct that.
No. But I mean, that's technically his universe, right? Like, to me, universe. Anybody that, like, he kind of cast and started with that's the world.
All right.
However,
I'll get it.
Like an idiot, I responded to one tweet that was about that stuff.
Why, Lee? Why?
I don't know. I'm on new medication. It made me crazy. I don't know. And because a part of me is, like, really, like, confused, and, like, I really like cults and stuff, and
who doesn't?
And it's, I don't know if it's unfair to whatever. Anyway, so the funny thing is, because this is what I said, I'll throw this out quick, we'll get into the movies, because Superman showed up at the end of Black Adam, we'll get into that, and I was like, if you guys love all that stuff so much, why didn't you support Black Adam? Make that $1 billion movie, because Henry Cavill's back, and they all, like, will die on the hill that he's the greatest Superman ever. And I finally came to the conclusion, after getting yelled at by so many people, that's not in the Snyderverse. Only the things that Zack did, that's canon. Anything else that was made, The Flash isn't canon. Oh, that's not canon. That's not
Aquaman's not.
No, not canon.
Okay.
It's weird. Only Zack stuff. That's the thing that matters. Nothing else they didn't want. It's really weird. But anyway.
The sad thing that pisses me off about the whole thing is that I'm a fan of him as a director.
I like Zack Snyder.
I really like his stuff.
It's just some of the weirdo followers are over the top.
Yeah.
And I like him. I've liked, I think, pretty much everything he's done. I never saw the Owl movie. But
I think some of his stuff is near masterpiece quality. Like, I'm a huge Sucker Punch fan.
So fun and visually incredible.
I love it. One of the most unique visual movies I've ever seen.
I think The Watchmen is one of the best comic book movies out there.
Watchmen is a masterpiece.
It is.
To me.
It super is. Yeah,
amazing.
It's like he's kind of like M. Night for me, where the stuff I really love, I love. The stuff I don't like, but I just don't think about it anymore.
Right.
Like, I didn't. Rebel Moon didn't do anything for me.
Right. No, same.
But it's like I've liked everything else. But anyway, we'll start, of course, with the start of it all, which is Man of Steel.
Right.
And I just rewatched it for my first time in a while.
Yeah.
Because it's like I'm so James Gunn's taken over DC now, and it's like people are so angry on one side or the other, and I got to take an internet break. It's kind of clouding.
But I still think it's like any of these things. It's a small group that shouts loud. That's all that we got to remember when it comes to things like this.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Because normal, rational people, you don't hear from them.
It's fair. Yeah. They don't feel like they have to.
Right.
Yeah, scream and abuse you and tell you you're stupid if you like one thing or the other.
People don't do multiple posts saying, "I can't wait for James Gunn's Superman." Like they.
Yeah,
because they're just waiting for it.
Yeah, but it's almost like it's creating a little bit. I am starting to see a little bit of that to fight some of the hardcore Snyder people. It's so dumb and unnecessary. Yeah. Guys, let's all get along. It's superhero. They're movies.
I know.
So let's quickly jump into Man of Steel.
Yeah, I'll jump into Man of Steel any day.
When I first saw it, what were your thoughts when you first saw it? Saw it. Yeah,
loved it.
Do you still feel like that?
Yeah,
I know there's only a couple things that you and I don't see eye to eye on with Man of Steel.
Right.
But
when
it's
when Leia was frozen in space, you didn't like that.
yeah, I'm like, what the fucking universe am I watching?
I thought that was really cool.
When Lois Lane used the Force. I just rewatched it because it had been a while, and I'm like, I love it. I love Man of Steel. I really do.
I really love
the cast is great. It's a cool new interpretation. All the Krypton stuff was awesome.
Man of Steel kind of had that Phantom Menace effect on me, where I saw Superman doing shit I've always dreamed of seeing him do.
Totally, yeah, absolutely. I liked that version of Lois. I like how it was like she found out he was Superman before he started.
Yeah,
because she's so good at her job. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, awesome.
Zod was cool because he was also, there was a little bit of like, he's just doing what was literally like programmed to do, you know? Obviously he's a bad guy because he's like, I don't care if I genocide the earth. Like this is what I was engineered for.
Yeah.
So and like the first flight scene is amazing. Hans Zimmer's music is
amazing.
11 out of 10.
Fantastic score.
The only things that didn't work for me is, although the casting was fantastic, I did not like Jonathan Kent in this.
I remember that. That's where we disagreed. I loved him.
Yeah. See, I just, because it's like the way I look at Superman and Batman are kind of the same in that they're like three people, right? Batman is like Public Bruce, Private Bruce, and Batman. And Superman is like Superman, Clark Kent,
and Pee Wee Herman.
And Pee Wee Herman, yeah. I can't do it with my throat.
I would never have suspected he's Superman.
That's so true. And like the Kal-El side. But and for Batman, it's like, I think his like main persona is Batman. That's who he is mostly. Yeah. For Superman, he's Clark. You know, like his acts as Superman are because of Clark. Yeah. You know, and he is the good person and does what he does because of how Jonathan and Martha raised him. Yeah. Why did you say that name? We'll get to it. And for me, I didn't love the like, what was I supposed to do with that bus of kids? Let them die? Maybe.
But I liked that because Jonathan is human. He's a regular dude, and he doesn't know how to handle this.
I get it.
He doesn't know.
And I can appreciate
and I liked
parent.
Costner's frustration in that he's like, you're my son and I love you, and all you want from me is answers, and I don't fucking know. Yeah. Like, that's what I got out of that scene. Is just, he was just like, I don't know, maybe, like, fuck, I don't know.
And I can appreciate that. It just didn't jive with me. Yeah. That's the only thing that I didn't love that. Yeah. And
there's always going to be weird stuff like the tornado scene. Yeah. Where he's like, don't. I'm like, but Superman's fast enough. He could have got you and got back and nobody would have seen anything.
It should have been a death that like he couldn't have helped. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So I kind of agree with that.
Yeah. Because it's like,
and yet it was still emotional.
I get what he was doing with it, but it's like, don't do it, son. 30 seconds later, the tornado hits someone. I'm like, oof, baboof. I do remember specifically when I first saw it in the theater, when Superman killed Zod at the end, I felt like somebody punched me in the stomach.
Yeah, it was heavy.
I didn't like it. I was like...
I loved it.
I felt like...
I loved it because I thought Cavill sold it so well that he was like, fuck, like, this is the last thing in the world I want to do. Yeah. And he really honestly was like, I don't have a choice.
Yeah. I get that. I get it as it's showing him ultimately choosing humanity over Krypton. Yeah. But watching Superman break a guy's neck, it made me feel sad. And I understand.
But I also saw it as he had to go through that, and that forms who he becomes later. Yeah. After that he's like, I will never go through that again. I'll never do that again.
At the same time, I've never killed anybody, and I know I won't. Like, I don't need to learn by murdering somebody to, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. It just didn't. That's the one of the things that just didn't 100%
If you were in a situation where you had no other choice, and it was Jordan or this guy.
But if I had superpowers, maybe I could do something else. I don't know.
But maybe you couldn't.
Well, the thing is, like, I want to
you're
murder.
In that second, but in that second, you don't have time to be like, well, maybe if I do this, or
and
maybe if I do that.
I get it, but it's like, I'm also not Superman. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm more of a Robin.
I always saw you more as a Mr. Mixelflick.
Mixelflick. Mr. Mixel Netflix.
Whatever his name was. What was his name?
It's Mixius Pidalick.
What?
Yeah. I always called him Mixelplix as a kid.
That's not how they said it in the cartoon.
That's what it is. It's the dumbest thing in the world. And he's like, I was crazy imp. I hate it. So after that comes out, also a lot of backlash because of how much destruction there was. Yeah. And it's like, I mean, I get it too, but I was a very big defender of this because I'm like, he's never fought anybody.
No.
It's an alien invasion. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of Kryptonians. There's one of him.
Yeah.
So it's like, I understand why people were like, holy fuck, like 1 million people died.
Yeah.
But I also, he's brand new. He's just becoming Superman.
Yeah.
So it's, I'm not, it's a fucking comic book movie.
That's basically what my response to that was.
Yeah. It's like, no one really died.
Yeah. It's like, actually, regardless of how it looks, it was super fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy.
Because his fight with the Kryptonians is just so
it was amazing.
Bonkers.
So great.
So fun.
Also, Feora, was one of the cool, I wanted so bad for her to show up later and her and Wonder Woman have the most epic fight in the world.
Oh my God.
That shit would have been, because she was incredible. So after this comes a very, very divisive Batman versus Superman, A Dawn of Justice. Now, I just rewatched that as well. And it's like, when it first came out, I really liked it. The director's cut, the extended cut, much, much, much better. Yeah. It explains so much more. It's a really better, more well thought out movie.
Yeah.
And then over time, without watching it, I was like, maybe I don't like it. Maybe it's just too dark and stuff.
See, I thought I didn't like it, and then a Facebook memory came up from when it came out, and I wrote a little review online saying how much I loved it.
Yeah, and I went back and I watched it yesterday. Yeah, and it's like I have both. I have things that I really like about it and things that I don't. Yeah, it's like there's certain things that, again, I'm iffy with. Like Affleck, I thought was a fucking great Batman.
Yeah, amazing.
Like he looked the part.
Loved him.
His suit, I really liked. Bigger ears. I know that's your thing. You wish it had bigger ears.
Yeah.
All that was cool.
But I still loved that one.
Oh, I really like that suit too. Yeah, it's it's like probably my second favorite Batman suit.
Same.
I don't necessarily love where Batman was in that movie, how he was just like, I'm fine with murdering people all over the place. I'm fine with branding these guys. That was a little, funny. I didn't love that for me.
Yeah.
Okay, Lex. What did you think of Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor?
He was all right.
Yeah, there was elements that I liked.
Yeah.
The stuff he did was very smart and threatening.
Yeah.
And he had it's in the extended cut, it was much more clear how extensive his plan was to set up Superman, and that stuff was really cool.
Yeah.
But I think the last third of the movie is where it fell down for me because guys, have a conversation. Superman and Batman, I didn't like Superman being
same. That's my main problem with that movie.
Nobody stays good in this world. It's who is this emo boy? That's not Superman to me. He's just this sad, depressed, nobody likes me. And that's not Superman for me.
Yeah.
And he could have just picked up fucking Bruce Wayne and flew him into the sky and was like, yo, Lex Luthor's trying to get me to kill you. Let's work together. Yeah. So that when, the Martha scene, which was very divisive, it didn't bother me so much.
It didn't bother me.
But the fact that Batman flipped on a dime, he's like, now Superman's my best friend in the whole wide world, and we have to avenge his death because he's my best friend ever, and I love Superman. That felt unearned to me.
It did.
They shouldn't have killed Superman in his second movie.
Yeah.
That was so goofy to me.
Yeah.
I think that, I know they were trying not to do a Marvel thing, but they should have. They should have had individual movies before a Justice League movie and the death of Superman.
I agree.
Yeah. Do you have any other Batman versus Superman thoughts?
No, you pretty much nailed everything I think about it.
Yeah. It
had some really great stuff in it, but overall, it's always felt a little disjointed to me.
Yeah, yeah. And one of the things I didn't love with that world is, and it's a small nitpicky thing, you see in Bruce Wayne's graveyard that Dick Grayson is dead, and I'm like, fuck you, man, because Nightwing is one of the best DC characters OOT of all time.
Okay.
So that sucks. So the next movie that came out was Wonder Woman.
Yeah, love it.
It's in my top 3 superhero movies.
Same here. I find the final fight a little underwhelming.
Yeah, that's the only kind of gripe I have.
But that's literally the only gripe. The rest of the movie to me is 100% stellar. She is phenomenal. Yes. The action's phenomenal.
Yeah, oh my God. The No Man's Land scene is legendary. The No Man's Land scene
is one of the best scenes in any superhero movie of all time.
100%. The whole cast is incredible. The supporting cast, everyone's fucking great.
Her saying we have to do something about this, and them saying you can't do anything about it. And then her just taking off the coat and being like, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
It was like, it gives me goosebumps thinking about it. It's,
and the way it was filmed with her going out there and holding the shield and all the bullets and
it's incredible. It was incredible. The music again was amazing. Yeah. All of the stuff on like, oh my God, why can't I remember the name of her?
Themyscira?
Yeah, Themyscira. I'm just having a brain fart. I know this. Themyscira was awesome. All the Amazons were great.
Yeah.
Like, it
was awesome.
Connie Nielsen and and who'd you say? Robin Wright. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Oh, all that training stuff. I fucking loved it.
It was amazing.
And I love that Wonder Woman had a great balance in that movie of being a badass warrior with a sword and stuff, with also being very like, oh, a baby.
Yeah.
And like eating ice cream for the first time. Like,
awesome.
It was perfect.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I have no other fucking comments about Wonder Woman. I love it so much.
Absolutely love it.
The next thing that came out was the David Ayer Suicide Squad.
Right. I think it was shit on too heavily. I don't think it's spectacular.
Right.
But I thought it was super fun. I enjoyed it for
There's
what
some
it was.
stuff. I know that was the one where the studio like really, really screwed over the director.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot in that, like, there was supposed to be like those parademon guys in this that were going to be in Justice League.
Right.
And they redid it. Like, they redid so much and re-edited so much.
Right.
And that sucks for that guy.
Yeah.
But there's like a lot of stuff, like Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn's incredible.
Yeah.
I thought Will Smith was fun.
Will Smith was great.
He was great.
I loved his character.
Yep.
I thought he was awesome.
His character was great. Some of the other, Viola Davis is like, Amanda Waller is such a top tier like villain in DC.
Even though I hated her in that Hunger Games.
Oh God, let's not even.
So, can you be more over the top?
Yeah.
Like,
the Hunger Games was, I know, and it's like sucks because Viola Davis is like
amazing.
The greatest actors working.
Yeah, amazing.
Like even Boomerang was like really funny in it.
Yeah. I dug the fact that the whole movie was almost like a road movie. It was just like, let's go from here to here and fight.
Yeah.
I just dug that.
It's like there's stuff that I
thought it was super fun. I think people were way too hard on it for what it was.
With the burning hate of 1,000 imploding suns, hate Jared Leto's Joker. The more I see clips,
I didn't care.
The more enraged I get.
Yeah.
It's so like he sounds like the Grinch for starters.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, you can't touch me. I'm an idea.
Yeah.
It's so he's like these edgelord dickheads who dress up like him. I hate him.
Yeah.
After that came Shazam.
Yep.
I fucking love Shazam.
I was expecting to not like it at all. I saw the trailers and I'm like, oh, great. So Shazam's just straight up comedy. And I was like, I have no interest in seeing this.
Yeah.
And then a friend of mine at the time was like, no, let's go see it. It looks good. And I'm like, eh. And then we went and I was like, holy shit. Okay.
Yeah. Like
super fun, great characters.
The cast is fantastic.
The whole like foster kid house and the mom and dad are great.
They're so good. That one guy is on The Walking Dead. Jerry. He's so
fucking great.
Yeah.
Dude should be in way more.
Totally. Yeah.
All the kids were great.
Yeah. The kid from It is super fucking funny.
Amazing.
Like, he's so funny, that dude. Very diverse cast, which is fucking awesome. Good to see in superhero movies.
If there was anything I would say is that I really like Zachary Levi. I was a big fan of Chuck when it was on TV. I think he overdoes it just a bit.
I can see that. Because
I know he's a good actor.
Yeah.
But I know he's also a goofy dude.
Yeah.
And I just wanted him to dial Shazam back. I know he's playing a kid, but just dial it back just a bit.
Yeah. I feel in the first one, I feel like it basically kind of, it worked for me well. I think that was a criticism people had about part 2 is that like Billy Batson as a kid, he didn't like Shazam was still too like goofy, zany, over the top. And it's like they're the same person.
Yeah.
And it didn't, but I only saw that one once.
Because his kid version is pretty serious.
More serious and stuff, yeah.
So it's weird that he's suddenly goofy when he's...
Some of it, he's almost in a way...
like him learning his powers in the first Shazam.
Funny.
Classic stuff.
When they're like, when they go to the convenience store... that shit's so funny, and they're like, I'll take all the beer you have. And,
it was awesome.
And like they shoot him in the eye and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was awesome.
He's almost like, not Deadpool in the way that he talks to the camera, but the way it kind of like parodies superhero stuff in a way.
Yeah.
I love that. And then of course the headless Superman cameo, which is like the start of the Henry Cavill, because apparently he's very hard to work with, which is why he was not in anything else until Justice League. But you
never know how this stuff happens because I don't know. Some people are so like, you keep hearing, oh, he's hard to work with, and then you hear other people who just won't stop talking about how great he is to work with. Like Gal Gadot raves about him,
right,
and how much she loves him and loves working with him.
Yeah, it's hard. It's like I in the day was doing a lot of like reading and digging and stuff like that. But either way, it's
he seems like a genuine. Like I've seen interviews with him when he's talking about, he's like a hardcore geek,
right?
His Warhammer 40,000, all this stuff that he likes, and he just seems like a genuine. I saw an interview with him and some other people, and they asked him. It was a female interviewer, and she's like, "I hear that you like something like geeky. What is it you like?" And he goes, "Oh, Warhammer 40,000." And then he starts talking about how much he loves the game. And the girl interviewer was like practically laughing at him like they were in a high school cafeteria.
Really weird. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, because she was just like, oh my God, you're such a little geek. What do you... And then one of the guys says, what armies are you using right now?
Right.
And Cavill goes, oh, I'm using this one. And he goes, oh yeah, I'm using this one. And as soon as that guy said something that was Warhammer that was right, Cavill went, really? And he got really interested. And he's like, text me after him. It was awesome. That's pretty funny. And I was just like, he seems like such a down-to-earth like geek. It's awesome.
It's just fun. Yeah, it's like I feel like at this point in
who knows what they're really like.
It's hard to say. Yeah, we're just fucking people like sitting in a house like we don't really know, I guess. Yeah. But I just feel like with the DC movies talking about them, this is where like kind of like the it started
things start to shake.
Yeah. It's like I always equate it to, you ever see those videos where people put like a fucking cinder block in a washing machine and it starts like and it goes crazy.
Okay, so Shazam, enjoy.
Yeah, after that, exactly. After that, next? Birds of Prey, what did you think?
Oh, that was the Emancipation of that one?
The Harley,
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was really fun. They shouldn't have called it Birds of Prey because I feel like people didn't know what the fuck it was.
Yeah.
It should have just been like Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey or something.
Yeah.
It might have helped it. And the thing is too, like gentle viewers, like
and it was very different, that one.
It was very different, yeah. And it's like fine for a lot of these movies to have different tones and stuff like that. Like they don't all have to be like, I know like with Marvel, when it first started at least, was like, it has to be like, and it's fine for things to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm more of like a DC comic-y guy. Like I'm super familiar with a lot of these characters.
Yeah.
You're just kind of not as much, I guess,
right? No, because I only read them when I was a kid,
right. So for Birds of Prey, like generally in the comics, the Birds of Prey is Batgirl and Black Canary and Huntress. And there's obviously no Batgirl in this.
Right.
One thing I fucking loved in this, Ewan McGregor.
Oh yeah.
He was over the top as well, but like in such a
controlled,
perfect,
great way.
Yeah, so funny.
Yeah, loved him.
Great. Harley was fantastic in it. The action sequences were great in this.
Yeah, the hyenas were great.
What's that?
The hyenas, the pet hyenas.
Oh my God, I almost forgot about that.
Them.
So good.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's like a thing right from the comics or the cartoons. The Black Canary, I really like that actress and she was great, but it was one of those things where it's like, she only used her powers one time.
Yeah.
I wanted more of it. And it's kind of like they don't even really have their costumes. They have like a sort of variation at the very end. And that's the one, like the Snake Eyes movie, literally Snake Eyes in his suit for 5 seconds. And I hate that. Like give me more that. And then the little girl, Cassandra Cain was her name.
Yeah.
And as a big comic nerd, she was like one of the most lethal Batgirls.
Right.
She was like mute and she was like a fucking crazy ninja and stuff. And it's like, just call her something else.
Yeah.
So that part I didn't love, but overall, like I think it's a super fun movie, and like I'll watch it anytime.
Yeah.
I just wish they hadn't killed Ewan because it would have been great to see him pop back.
Yeah.
So that, sir, brings us to Justice League.
Okay.
Obviously, a big thing. The theater cut, the Whedon one, is really bad. Like the CGI stuff is like the most distracting, obvious, like the mustache thing.
Well, you think that. It's not everybody. I didn't notice it when I first saw it.
Really? If you watched it now, it would be like the most distracting shit.
But I mean, obviously, it wasn't for me the first time because I didn't know until you told me about it.
Oh, crazy. All right.
I had no idea.
But yeah, apart from Mustache Gate, it's like they reshot so much. And it's like, obviously, like we all know, like Zack Snyder's daughter died and that's why he left.
Right.
But then it's like, did he get fired and this and that? And they want to make it more like Marvel. So bring in the guy who made Avengers and stuff. And they reshot a whole bunch of stuff. So it's like, obviously the whole Snyder cut is a way better movie.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know how many times I could rewatch it. Not just because of the length. It's so dark in tone that I don't know if I love that.
I agree.
Is that you've seen the Snyder cut one, right?
Yep.
Some of the characters are awesome, like the Cyborg character, great.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, again, it's like I wish we would have got solo movies with them first because it's so many people to meet all at once.
But then there was also stuff like I don't know if I'd watch a whole movie of Cyborg.
But if it was good enough, you know what I mean? Like we didn't know who Guardians of the Galaxy were at the time, right?
That's true.
Like it's as long as it's an awesome, compelling movie, we could learn to love new characters.
That's true.
Some of the stuff that I thought was like a little like ooh in the Snyder cut was like I love that opening Wonder Woman scene where she saves everyone at the bank. But it's also kind of crazy that she literally grabs one of the guys, chucks him against a wall, and leaves like a huge blood stain on the wall.
Yeah.
And then like the little girl's like, "Can I be like you one day?" And she's like, "Absolutely."
I know, it was weird.
And I'm like,
and
whoa.
even when she stopped the main guy by doing the bracelet thing and literally blew the side of the building out, it's like, wasn't that a bit of overkill?
Yeah.
Did you really have to destroy the whole building to take out one dude?
That's some of the stuff that like I don't love.
Like in Man of Steel, you have to destroy shit because that guy's fucking powerful.
Totally, yeah.
But you're stopping a dude with a gun and you're Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
you
totally.
don't really have to use the
to,
bracelet thing on him. You could just
crazy.
run. You're fast.
Yeah.
You could run over to him and knock the gun out of his hand, punch him in the face.
Yep.
You don't have 100%. To blow the whole side of the building out.
Yeah. Those kids are all going to have to go to therapy because they just saw like straight up
But
murders.
her like doing the run deflecting.
So cool.
It's awesome.
There was a lot I loved and a lot that was meh.
Justice League for me is totally like, I want to pop it in and just watch some scenes.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch the whole movie.
All the evil Superman stuff. I don't want to see evil Superman for me. Like that's not what
The fight at the statue was pretty neat.
It was like,
but it was just neat as a scene.
Yeah, and it's like snap out of it, and like that's fine. But it's like the stuff that I had read, like his future plans, like in BVS, the nightmare sequence where we see evil Superman, like that's where you wanted the new movies to go. That Superman was taken over by whoever, and he's evil, and they all have to fight him. And it's like I
liked the evil Superman scenes in Superman and Lois.
Like the Bizarro. The Bizarro, yeah.
Like in the first season when they have that like vision of other guys.
From the other universe.
Yeah, from the other universe.
That stuff was awesome.
That scene.
P.S. guys, if you're not watching Superman and Lois, you are missing out on
Superman and Lois is
some of the top tier Superman stuff I've ever seen.
Agreed.
Like unbelievable.
Agreed.
But yeah, it's like the whole like nightmare world. Like I didn't love that they were gonna have a thing where Lois was pregnant with Bruce Wayne's kid.
Yeah,
like I don't need any of that.
Care about any of
that extra Joker scene. Fuck off.
Only thing I liked about the alternate stuff was Batman's outfit was pretty badass.
Yeah. Like the armored kind of.
No, the brown coat and everything.
Oh, that nightmare sequence. Yeah, it was neat, but I think it just got too dark for me, and it's like
it was way too convoluted. Yeah.
DC for me has always been more like comic booky, fantastical and stuff, and I still appreciate a lot of that stuff, but it's like it wasn't clicking with me.
I agree.
And then after that is when we got the Suicide Squad, the James Gunn movie.
Yep. Again, super fun. Lots of laughs. King Shark stole the whole movie.
Oh my God, so funny. The more I watch that movie, the more I like it.
Yeah. There's super great stuff in it. It's the best of all the Harley Quinn stuff. For sure.
I think so too. And I think for me, like I'm a gun fan, and I think that not
hear that he likes guns, folks.
USA,
he's pro gun,
but it's like he can handle like teams pretty well, you know. And it's like Polka Dot Man, who the fuck is this guy? But they gave him a little arc that you cared about, you know.
He was great.
I'm a superhero. All the shit with his mom, that shit was so funny,
awesome.
And because of that, we got Peacemaker, which
God damn it,
I love that show. I couldn't believe how much I loved.
Same, Yeah, unbelievable. It was so awesome.
Yeah.
And when I first heard, like, I was in the 80s, a big fan of Vigilante comics.
Yep.
And Vigilante comics were not funny at all. He was a dead serious guy. And when I heard he was coming on the show and that he was going to be, and I'm like, they're going to make a funny guy. And they nailed it.
That dude stole the show too.
Great.
Yeah. So good. Like you gave a shit about people you didn't think you would.
Yeah.
It got very serious.
Very serious.
Like incredibly.
There was like really emotional scenes with John Cena, who's a fantastic actor, by the way.
He really is. He's so good.
Who would have thought these people would all come out of wrestling?
I know, right? Dave Bautista, John Cena. I really love the show and everything. Yeah. Obviously this, like, we can real quick blow through some of these other ones.
Sure.
But like Black Adam, terrible.
Unwatchable.
He originally was supposed to have a headless Superman.
I love The Rock, but come on.
It was one of the most forgettable things I've ever seen. Superman shows up at the very end again, which apparently The Rock made happen because it was another headless cameo.
Right.
Didn't make sense because like Amanda Waller called Superman, and it's like she runs bad guys. This doesn't make what the fuck is going on? And so I didn't love that. No. Yeah, I wasn't a Black Adam. I don't think anybody was a Black Adam fan.
No.
All the side characters it didn't matter.
Terrible.
It was forgettable. One thing I had almost forgot about it was Wonder Woman 84 was the biggest letdown.
I was hoping you'd forget about it. I was so excited because I love Wonder Woman so much, and that movie is garbage to me. I hate it.
I was like at a loss. I felt heartbroken.
Villain was terrible. The fact that
Pedro Pascal.
he's terrible.
Yeah.
And Kristen Wiig's character was terrible too.
Yeah.
You made a Wonder Woman movie and basically made her powerless and useless for the entire movie.
Yeah. Like, I wanted her sword again, like no sword and stuff. It's like they were trying to make it more like the old TV show in a way.
Yeah, it was
and it's
dumb.
like you can't, like, because you've already established her one way.
I hated it.
And it swung the other way. And just the thing, obviously the real, like, you know, they brought Chris Pine back and they did it in the worst way possible.
Yeah.
I don't understand. This is what they should have did. They should have, I wish he would come back and then cut back to him in the plane at the end of Wonder Woman. Foop, he vanishes. Boom, he just shows up.
Yeah.
And then it's like they have to like go through their thing and then they realize, fuck, we got to send him back. Like, we can't do this.
Yeah.
That would make it more heartbreaking that now he knows he has to go into the thing. Instead,
and die.
He just took over some other dude's life.
I know.
Which
again doesn't make sense because the whole time Wonder Woman's having conversations with him, she's really looking at some other dude.
Yeah, but she's like, in my mind, I can see Steve.
Which is dumb.
Everybody else sees this other guy.
Yeah.
And then, again, very problematic because they sleep together. They live in this guy's house.
I know.
You don't know who this guy is. Like, if that would have been like a reverse thing, like, oh my God, it
was terrible.
Awful.
What a
such a letdown.
Crime.
Yeah, I was really sad about that. Shazam 2, I saw it and thought it was okay, but I kind of forgot about it.
I forgot about it too, but it was fun while I was watching it.
Yeah, I'd give it a rewatch because it's just like kind of a good action movie. But I'm like, oh yeah, like Helen Mirren's in it, Lucy Liu is in it.
No. And they put Helen Mirren up for a Razzie for it. And
I'm like, oh, that's not fair.
I'm like, okay, listen, if the movie's no good, that's fine. But I guarantee you, in the worst movie on earth, Helen Mirren did not do a bad job.
Seriously, the Razzies are stupid bullshit anyway.
They are.
And kind of a crazy thing too is that they had offered The Rock a cameo in Shazam 2.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I only play with the big boys. And it's like, you are Shazam's enemy, which is crazy. And at the end of Shazam, they wanted to, like, those side characters from Black Adam to show up, like the Hawkman and whoever else, to be like, do you want to join the Justice Society?
Right.
But for whatever reason, because that's when The Rock was maybe almost going to take over DC, he was like, no, you can't use my characters. They're mine. You can't use them. So they had like Waller's people go to Shazam.
So he was just bitter because his movie bombed.
Yeah. And the thing, like, I saw an interview where he's like, when it was still happening, the movie is coming out, and he's like, you know, I want the next movie to be me versus Superman and the Justice League and the Suicide Squad. Like, everyone has to team up against me because I'm the biggest power and stuff. And it's like, it just became like an ego thing. And it made me kind of like...
He like messed with his image so bad over that movie.
Yeah. It made me kind of like...
before that, he could do no wrong. He was the nicest guy in the world.
Yep.
Everybody loved him.
Yep.
And then after all of those ego hijinks, everybody was like, I
kind of see a little bit. Yeah, you let me down.
Yeah. Had enough of The Rock for a while.
You must have seen The Flash.
Yeah.
What was your Flash thoughts?
I enjoyed it. I agreed with you on the CG in those what are the speed zone or whatever it was called.
I didn't.
It just almost felt like that didn't need to be there. And I didn't know why. What is the reason your effects look like shit?
I don't know.
Like, because you could have just used footage and made it be footage. I don't know why you had to replicate it in CG.
That was a weird thing. I think I saw an interview recently that one of the effects artists were like, we were given like a week and a half to do this.
Yeah, but I mean, then just use footage.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, that's the part I didn't get. Why recreate every scene in this bad CG?
It's
just
so
use
weird.
footage.
Yeah.
You already have the footage from the movie.
Even Nick Cage said, like, because he went in to film a thing in that suit, and he's like, that is not what I did at all.
Yeah.
So
I don't understand
confusing.
that. But aside from that, it was enjoyable. It had some cool stuff in it.
Yeah.
The Michael Keaton stuff was fun. The big fight at the end was fun.
Yeah. It's crazy that, like, Michael Keaton's return to Batman didn't pull more asses in the seats.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And
but the Michael Keaton Batman fans like gushed.
That stuff was awesome. Like, he was the coolest.
It was great.
That he's been. Like, the fighting was great again.
Yep.
Supergirl was really cool. I liked her.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah. I really liked her.
She was my favorite part of the movie.
She was awesome.
And I wanted to see more of that. Going on.
Yeah, but it's like they reshot so many endings because they didn't know what the fuck was happening with DC.
Yeah, didn't they kill her?
Yeah, she died. Keaton died.
Which is dumb. Why would you do that?
Because they knew that this version was ending of DC. So yeah, and then I didn't see Aquaman 2, and I'm not going to bother because I haven't
not seen it either. I'll watch it at some point, but I don't. Underwater stuff just doesn't do much for me.
Yeah,
like in general.
Yeah, it's apparently just very silly. I saw someone say like the opening.
Oh, I did. It's on like Crave now, and I was flipping channels the other day, and it was on, and I went by it, and the scene was Amber Heard and Nicole Kidman riding mechanical sharks. They were mechanical sharks.
Okay.
And going after somebody. And I'm like, don't you have control of real sharks? Why are you riding mechanical sharks?
Oh my God.
And I was just like, what is that all about?
I saw someone tweet
about it. I adore
like,
James Wan, but what are you doing?
I don't know. Maybe it was more studio goofiness. But yeah, I saw
but I didn't even get
Aquaman has a kid in it, like a baby.
Yeah.
And they're like, I tried to start watching it, and like literally the first scene is like he's changing the baby and it pees in his mouth. And then it's like they gave up and they're like, okay, I'm going to try and watch it again. And then for a second time, it like pees in his mouth. It's all like goofy comedy. So yeah. So overall,
maybe I won't watch it. The sharks kind of befuddled me. I was just like, I don't understand. Like if it was like a
shark with like armor?
No, if it was like a scooter, like an actual vehicle.
Oh, got it.
I could understand it if you like made a vehicle for traveling fast underwater.
Right.
But why would you make a mechanical shark?
That's so weird.
When you live in the ocean with sharks that do what you want.
I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And I love Patrick Wilson so much.
I love him too.
I like the people
everybody
that's in it is great. Yeah.
I love everybody that's in it. But
I feel like I'm glad it's being rebooted. Like the DC universe, it needed it because like the nuts and bolts just fell off this machine.
100% behind it. And I truthfully, seriously, I just want to leave all that behind and let Zack Snyder go make some new cool action movies.
Yeah.
Just stay away from that shit and just make some Zack Snyder shit.
Totally. Oh my God. Yeah. Because again, like
that's not Rebel Moon.
They're like the 6-hour director's cut is coming out, and I'm like 6 hours.
There was a couple of action things I thought were really cool, but overall, it was like looking at my watch the whole time.
Yeah, I
was psyched because I like a lot of people in it, and it looked cool.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I saw some like behind the scenes training of like the main woman in the movie whose name I forget.
Yeah,
all her training and stuff looked fucking awesome.
Yeah,
and I was just like, it did nothing for me.
No,
I don't know. I liked a lot of the stuff that came out of the Snyder stuff. Affleck was good for what we got. Yeah. Would have been cool for him to do a solo movie. That would have been great.
Yeah. It's people just have to accept that it's an era that's ended.
That's exactly it, right? Like people are complaining and stuff, and I'm like, you and me, I think I'm like, we lived in an age where we got Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, and it's like, that's all you fucking got.
Yep.
You know, like we're eating good now.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't complain. It's just like, you got the movies for a certain amount of time. Now comes a new thing. And it's always been like that with the comic books.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's always new writers, new
I'm
stories.
psyched for all new, fresh stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm really excited to see what we get. I love the new cast of Superman. I think we're going to get the best Lois Lane we've maybe ever had.
Yeah, she's great. She's perfect for the role.
Totally. I've only seen David Corn.
I've never seen Corn Sweat.
Corn Sweet.
Corn. Not corn.
Sweet Corn. David Sweet Corn. The only thing I saw him in was Pearl. I think that's the only thing I've seen him in.
Oh, he was in that?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But, you know, he's like a 6'5" dude. Apparently he's like fucking built now and stuff.
Yeah.
And little interviews I've seen with him, he seems cool. He looks the part.
Yeah, he does look the part.
I'm hoping for just like a good Superman movie.
Me too.
That's all I want. I just want new.
And Nicholas Holt's freaking amazing.
He's great.
He's great.
He's so great.
He can do anything. So.
Yeah. I just saw an interview with him on Michael Rosenbaum's podcast, and they were talking about Lex Luthor's together and stuff, which is great. And the Jimmy Olsen dude that they cast in this new one is like spot on.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll know in a year, right?
Yep.
So I'm just one last thing.
Yeah.
Superman costume. Are you hoping for red trunks or no trunks?
Yeah. Trunks. I want trunks back. It's been a long time.
I want trunks back too. Like most
Superman
people these days
have trunks.
No, he doesn't. Unless when they showed like that fucking flashback and he like his old ass suit, which I loved.
Yeah.
And they're like, nice suit. And he's like, thanks, my mom made it for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's Superman.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Like just fingers crossed. I go into everything optimistic, and I hope this new DC world's great.
I know. I was telling Jay that I want trunks and I want a long cape.
I would love a yellow S on the back of the cape.
Yes, yellow S back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They ditched it for ease of CG, but come on. AI can track it and put the S on everything.
And in the meantime, we got only, unfortunately, one more season of Superman and Lois.
Yeah.
But that show is, again, top fucking tier.
Yep.
A lot of people always say Superman's like hard to write for because he's a boring character, quote unquote. But it's like some of the shit that happened last season.
Very complex stuff.
Very like Lois battling cancer
complex
and stuff.
Complex Luthor.
Michael Cudlitz was a great Lex Luthor.
Great
also.
Lex Luthor.
Very scary, small.
Yeah, very scary.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's top tier. Don't dismiss it because it's a CW show. It doesn't feel like a CW show.
No, because I hate CW shows and I love it.
Yeah.
So
go and watch that.
Awesome.
You nerds.
All right. Well, all you Snyder people can leave your anger comments on our social media.
Yeah.
So there you
go. Do you have a
we look Henry Cavill, we can look forward now that he's going to be in Highlander.
He's going to be a Highlander. So yeah.
Well, psyched for that. I hope they nail it because I love Highlander.
Yeah, like The Crow. It's like I hope it kind of brings it back because Highlander, same thing. Bad sequels, bad. Well,
I remember they were going to remake it a while ago, and they said that instead of swords, though, we're going to use guns. And I'm like, no.
Come on.
But I don't think this one. I think this one's swords. But I'm like, fuck! Don't do that.
Yeah, that's
all kitchen utensils instead of swords.
Whisk.
Anyway, okay.
Cool.
You're gonna recommend? You got to do it fast because we're way over.
I tried to watch Beau is Afraid and I couldn't even finish watching it.
Oh, fucking hate it.
Yeah. I had like an anxiety attack.
Ari Aster and I hated it.
Yeah, I couldn't finish it. It was literally like watching an anxiety attack, and I have
It's a therapy session on film, and it's not mine, so I don't want to watch it.
Yeah. I wanted to like it.
Me too.
I was like, I can't even. I had to watch a YouTube video to just hear how it ended because I was halfway curious. And I'm like, oh, he fights a giant dick monster.
We saw
apparently.
it in the theater and sat through the whole thing.
I would have had a meltdown. I would have probably left.
It was terrible.
Sorry,
Did
Ari.
not like it.
Won't be getting a tattoo of that.
Okay, well then I'll quickly throw out my recommendation will be there on Shudder. There is a new documentary called Argento Panico.
Ooh.
And it's the first documentary about the horror maestro, Dario Argento.
Nice.
And he is involved and interviewed in it. So it's not just about him. There's actually a lot of stuff about his life in it. And they interview his daughter. And so it's not only covering his films, but it's kind of covering a lot of his life. It's kind of biographical, but it also covers a lot of his brilliant films and where he's going next. And it's really good. So Argento Panico on Shudder. Worth watching, especially if you're a horror fan and a fan of Argento. So
sweet.
Check it out.
All right. To sign us off is special guest Gary Busey.
Oh, no.
Real ramblers. I don't ramble, I sashay. I sashay down to McDonald's and give me some french fries. Kiss Ronald McDonald on the lips. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. I feel like I need a shower.
Butter sausage.
Stop.
I don't even know butter sausage.
Oh, my God. Well, folks, recover from that until we see you next week. Keep on rambling.
Thanks for listening to The Real Ramblers. Follow us on Instagram at Real Ramblers. That's REEL Ramblers. And you can follow Lee at Lee Howard _art and Bill at JustTheBill1138.